at 11:40 a.m., there was a reported case of tampering with trick-or-treaters' Halloween candy. Now, we all know the stories of our parents or grandparents or family telling us, check your candy before you eat it. Might be razor blades or needles or drugs. But there's only ever been 2 accounted cases where this was the truth. One in the 1950s, when a dentist gave away laxatives and candy. I admit, it's kind of funny to think about, but it was horrible. He got arrested for causing a public disturbance. And another one in the 80s, where someone just gave out homemade candy that made everybody sick. In these cases were, well, the second case was not intentional. The first one was because he was he was a dentist. No one really likes dentists in the first place. But the story started, the whole candy in the chocolate, the needles and the razor blades in the chocolate, actually was a rumor started in the 1920s just by church groups and media. You even see in the news these days, scares of the news saying, razor blades found in candy, needles, drugs we hand out on Halloween. But none of these are ever been proven. Most of the cases so far have been parents covering the deaths of their child to cover up for this. These are usually cases where parents neglect their children and they get into something, and then close to Halloween, they blame it on the Halloween candy. Now, the most recent one was a woman in Ottawa reported this morning at 11:40 a.m. that she found needles in her son's candy. Now, the Ottawa police investigated this like they should have, and they found this was a hoax. She did this simply for the publicity and to raise awareness, she would say. But police found there's no tampering, and she put this in the candy herself for her son to find. She was lucky that he didn't swallow it, but he did find it when it poked him in the mouth. Yeah. Another case you've probably seen on Facebook is those Mickey Mouse pills that probably your grandmother, your mother is sharing, those fake news articles of these people handing out these on Halloween. Also was fake. All those images were from a drug bust, actually, 4 years ago, that affected, Brooks was a local place. The skate park there were problems with ecstasy and other smaller pills, Abby knows what I'm talking about, going on there. These were all just hoaxes. There's been no reported cases in the past 50 years that have proven true. Most of them are just people making homemade candy that sometimes doesn't taste too good, it makes kids sick, and others are just plain old neglect from the parents and looking for a scapegoat. This is a common myth that is perpetrated by the press, parents, and groups that just generally don't like Halloween, such as some church groups. I know when I was a kid, my grandmother used to tell me, candy, strangers are dangerous. They'll put needles in your candy, they'll put razor blades, they'll drug you. But now I'm looking back on, who would give away free drugs? Let's be honest. If that was the case, there'd be a lot more adults trick-or-treating. But no, myself, I remember my parents going through my candy, looking like, oh, this one has a needle hole, this one has been opened. But then to find out a week later, they hid it in the freezer. So I've come to the conclusion that this whole thing surrounding dangerous candy is just a parent's way of getting away with stealing it. That's probably the most elaborate plan I think any parents have come up with. So when your parents have gone through your candy, looked at it and said, yeah, this has been tampered with, you can't have that, they probably ate it themselves, let's be honest. And now you're probably all, when you're going to have kids one day, you're going to do the same thing. You can't go out trick-or-treating, you can't justify buying a whole box of chocolate for yourself, so what do? You just steal from your kids. And that's it.